Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing out there today? This is your Uncle Steve here in Uncle Steve's Lounge, here to talk a little bit about Falcons, one of our quarterbacks. Maybe not the starting quarterback, but he said today that he was misled. Oh boy. Let's talk about it on the other side.
You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge.
What is going on? How y'all doing out there today? This is your Uncle Steve, and you are in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you for joining us today on a Tuesday, July the 8th. We are a few weeks away from some training camp, and more importantly, about a month and a half away for some real football. I am excited to get things rolling again. Hope you all are having a great summer so far. Things are well here. Hope everything is great for you. If you're hitting here for the first time, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Hit that like button if you don't mind. If you're on YouTube or on Facebook, we actually are on Twitter today. So if you're on Twitter, give your uncle a shout out so you can let me know that we're out there, folks. You almost figured, you said to yourself, well, this is a quiet time, kind of time for everybody to kind of get their bearings together, get our, fandom up and kind of save everything for a big outburst coming in a couple of weeks. But we got news today. Well, not even so much got news. But the quarterback series that's on Netflix, if you all have not had an opportunity to see it, I suggest that you go see it. It's actually a pretty good little documentary. I think Peyton Manning is the executive producer for that, and goes behind the scenes of the quarterback during the year and everything. So, of course, last year they were taping our quarterback, Kirk Cousins, and the ups and downs and everything that went on in his first season with Atlanta. So, because the series shot out, and I think they did all 7 episodes, if I'm not mistaken, because I think I saw the last one. I think it was called The Final Snap or something. So, seems like that was it because they went all the way to the end of the Falcons season. And, give the producers credit because they probably made this look like woe is me for Kirk. So let's go really to the real headlines. And that was today. First thing you saw on ESPN, Kirk Cousins felt a little bit misled, which is very interesting to me. I'm going to go to the quote that he said, and he said it on the show again. If you all don't, if you don't have Netflix, go check it out. I think it's a good couple of games, and it's good to see the Falcons always on any kind of platform, but this was through the eyes of Kirk Cousins. Nice family, nothing but I want to make sure that this is not personal when you start talking about Kurt. I know a lot of people, just want to, oh, I hate him. He's the worst guy in the world. But this was his perspective. So his quote said, certainly, if I had the information around free agency, it certainly would have affected my decision. Kurt said on the first episode of the season, quote, I had no reason to leave Minnesota with how much we loved it there if both teams are going to be drafting a quarterback high. But I've also learned in 12 years in this league that you're not entitled to anything. It's all about being able to earn your spot, improve yourself. Now, when I first heard that particular line, I was kind of saying, what's the problem? Now, the misled thing, which is going to be the bounce word for the day, you're kind of acting like there wasn't anything attached to it. It's not like, Kirk, we didn't offer you $10 to come play the starting position. And he kind of alluded to that they were going to draft a quarterback high. He did say, kind of almost sound like he alluded that they were going to draft somebody. But what difference did it make? What if the third round? Because if you threw like you threw last year, whether we drafted a quarterback in the first round, third round, fourth round, they still would have entered the game because you weren't throwing very good. So it's a little challenging to hear some of that when you hear some of his comments on that. This is another one. He said, the information I had at the time, I made the best decision. You also know that if you sit down week 10 and take 2 or 3 weeks or more to let it heal, you may never get your job back. I remember reading Drew Brees' book back in 2010 when he first wrote it, how he made the point that he tried to never let his backup see the field, even if it was somebody who was really no threat. He just felt like you should never do that. Doug Flutie taught him that. So that was something I was always aware of in this league. If you give someone else the chance, you want to get Wally pipped, and then there's Lou Garrett behind you. That can happen all the time. Wally Pipp was the first baseman who Lou Garrett took his spot and then stayed on the spot for 20 years or whatever it was, broke the record for most consecutive games. So anyway, so Kurt is telling you that, hey, I'm so scared that somebody's gonna take my job. That's what I gather from it. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think about that? I want to hear what folks are saying. Let me get to the comments on here. Appreciate y'all joining me again. This is just crazy. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Right before we start, we do have a special guest. We have a special guest in here. Wait, I think it's Kirk Cousins. What's up, Kirk? How you doing?
My locker, who knows that? Now my world
Well, we'll try Kurt later on. I guess his audio didn't come up. We'll see if we can get him on there. Until then, let's get the chat rolling in here. Brother John Brooks is in here. Say, "What's up, Unc? I wish Kurt would have stopped would stop talking. Matt Town Dirty's in the house. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Don Dre's in the house. What's up, Uncle Steve? Misled. He misled us by throwing games we could have won, but the coach played a big part in that. He could make the decision. 2, Lisa Shepard is here. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Said misled this narrative he is pushing to attempt to make the Falcons look bad has made him look like an entitled brat instead. Whatever, Kirk Cousins. That's probably how most people feel about this. T. Walker's in the house. What's up, T? What's good, Unc? I am only 3 episodes in on the Netflix show. I do have to give Coco credit on his acknowledgement on how bad he was playing before the Tampa game. You know, you're probably going to hear fewer comments like this, but he's actually right. Listen, you're trying to get a little bit of sympathy from the Atlanta faithful, a little bit. It's not going to work, but he's trying to get a little bit just to say, well, had they not told me. Now, I'm pretty sure Kirk knew a 36-year-old quarterback coming off Achilles injury, there was going to be a possibility that you might need somebody to take your place every now and then. I mean, we're finding out so much right now that he probably just wasn't physically ready. So I don't know. I'm not trying to hear all that junk. Lisa says, I haven't even watched the show yet, and Kirk already made me mad. Well, you don't want to look at the show too much then, because when you see those sit downs, you're going to be really ticked off when you see that. Even though I want to make sure, again, it's hard because look, I'm upset at the player, Kirk Cousins, not the man. And they had some nice stuff with his family there, so I don't want to sit here and act like doom and gloom to the Cousins family, because his wife was very the little things which they were talking about. They had this little sad scene. I'm not trying to for you all who haven't watched it. I'm sorry. I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's some very key moments where it's obvious that they want us to feel sorry for him, where they have this little sad music behind, and they want us to say, "Oh, poor Kirk." But whatever. John Brooks again says, okay, I think you were saying the same thing on the other side. 95 North Falcons talk in the house. That's Berto. Y'all make sure y'all check Berto out tomorrow night. He'll be on with Bro Talk, as they usually keep us up on everything Falcons going on. He said, Kirk, meet RG3. I know that's right. Yeah. As I never forget where I sit in the seats back when he was with the Ravens. And I never forget his wife was sitting the row ahead of us, and her whole entourage with the third string quarterback's jersey sitting in front of us. And they let him in the game in the fourth quarter. I think Baltimore was already up like 2 touchdowns or whatever it was. And she was all screaming. I don't know why I said that story, but he said RG3. So. Billy Mills in the house, man. What's going on, brother? What's going on? Berto said he's no stranger and should have thick skin in this situation. And if he doesn't have thick skin, Berto, he can afford it. $37 million to get a Microsoft Surface. I have zero sympathy, sir. Zero. He said, I wish Kirk would bite his lip. That way he would stop talking, because all he does is embarrass himself. Rusty said, I might be in the minority, but the Falcons did him dirty. I know he got paid a lot of money, but that's not a good look for future free agents. With that being said, take your $100 million and keep quiet. Now, there is a side that there are people that might say that, but here's the thing, Rusty. Nobody had a gun to his head and said sign for $100 million guaranteed. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the case. And I bet you if there's video of it, I'm pretty sure there were no weapons, knives, or anything telling him, hey, bro, you need to sign this contract or else. Lisa said Minnesota wasn't re-signing him, though. They said publicly that they were ready to move on from Cousins, from what I recall. Yes, and if you remember, think about it, Lisa and everybody else. You actually were in the greatest situation. If Minnesota really, really wanted you, they would have kept him. Why would Minnesota just let him go like that? Just the 8 or 9 games he played that year, he was leading the league in yards, and I think it might have been touchdowns too. Obviously, it helps to have Justin Jefferson, Addison on your team, but he was having a great year statistically. So from Minnesota's standpoint, they probably said, oh, 36-year-old just had that Achilles. So they're not going to play for a lost year. So they did the okie doke. Gonna have folks in Minnesota, they have people thinking Minnesota was literally gonna sign him. Yeah, right. Millie Mill says at the end of the day, you lost your own job and nobody to blame but yourself. Lisa said, facts, lost his job on his own and our playoff berth in the process. I truly believe that Cousins had been benched sooner, we would have made the playoffs. I know we will never know now. Listen, I've said it several times. I do believe we could have beat the Chargers. We could have beat the Saints. I really do. So, hey, say what you want to say. Dirty Bird, what's going on, man? Carlo, what's going on, brother? He said, no sympathy for Kurt. This is a big boy game, and he needs to get over it. I say the same thing. The series of this quarterback thing is going to be fascinating to see what people get out of it. I obviously I knew today Falcon fans were going to be on fire to want to talk about it, but it is kind of strange to hear a couple of people probably sympathize with him. I'm not a sympathizer with him, and especially with the money that you're making. I'm like, bruh, you got whatever. Billy Bill says, tell man to stop and be there for the young boy that you gave your job to. Well, he should have done that last year. Should have done that last year if you really think about it. Debo Vibes in the house. What's going on, Debo? How you doing, my friend? Y'all make sure y'all check out Debo Vibes doing his thing on his channel there. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. Also, check out the eye test with the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. John Harris and Winston Thornton doing their thing. Oh, but I'm trying to think, are they still Wednesday nights too? I'm not sure if they're Wednesday nights too. Either night is late night doing their thing. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. Subscribe to him and to Debo Vibes. Y'all make sure y'all check both of them out. John says, seeing the daily on Cousins almost had me feeling sorry for him. But the NFL is a business and the team don't owe nobody nothing outside their contract. Now, see, that's where John is kind of in my boat. Because the way the documentary is set up, it's a little bit of the family too. So, look, if you don't have a heart for that type of stuff, listen, it was, I know I wasn't sitting there with a Kleenex, but it was a little sad to see the wife, again, I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but yeah, from her perspective, man, from a spouse perspective, I kind of felt bad for her. And, the kids are oblivious to it. Them kids had no idea what's going on. So, I'm not that heartless to say that's not a different thing. But from a team standpoint, no, you don't get any sympathy. You really don't. Millie Mill says, he got his money. Wife is back home in Atlanta, just starting to think about retirement. It's a young man's game, and the football gods kicking you out. Listen, that last part, just thinking about retirement. Now, if something unfortunately happens to one of the starting players in the NFL, I could absolutely see somebody taking the time to think about it. You're still going to have to take probably about $20 million of it if a quarterback gets hurt in preseason or something like that. But yeah, other than that, man, I think Kirk Cousins is playing out the string. If he doesn't get a chance this year, I just don't see him playing on another team. I don't see him if you see how he's acting right now, as far as backing up, backing up players, I don't know what other teams think he's going to be. Debo says this Kirk Cousins experience ranks up there with Mike Hampton and Speedy Claxton as the worst and most frustrating signings of Atlanta sports history. Speedy Claxton, boy, I remember that. When they signed Speedy Claxton, we thought we were going to have our point guard for the future, because that was right. Okay, refresh my memory. Was that right before we got Bibby, or right after? It was either one of the two. I can't remember for that. But yeah, absolutely, it is absolutely up there as far as frustrating times for the Atlanta Falcons. That's I don't know. So I want to know how y'all feel about it today. I'm going to throw the link in here and see if y'all want to, if anybody wants to speak about it. I'm gonna take this off right quick. Hold on a second. There we go. And see if we can, if anybody has any additional thought. Why is this thing not working? Of course, of all days. There we go. I knew I had it right there. So if anybody wants to say a word or two, feel free. You are in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Appreciate y'all joining me today here. Got a couple of weeks before training camp. So again, just getting those last second things in before the guys really get rolling. John Harris says this man had 180 million that was coming into the house, and all what the house and a couple of cars, both Mercedes that they had. Where's the pain? And it's a scene in there when you see the car that he has when he's driving around in his woes. Let's put it this way: episode 1, turn on the tearjerker music, because it's truly made for him to be felt sorry for. And great job from the folks doing the thing at Netflix, because I like the other stories. I got a chance to look a little bit at Joe Burrow and Jared Goff. Those are the other two quarterbacks being featured on there. Quite honestly, I know by the time I got to the 3rd and 4th episodes, I was kind of skipping to the Kirk Cousins part. But unfortunately, Falcon fans, y'all already know what happened when you get to that part. We relived it. We saw it. So there's no need to go live that out again. I do have one of my guys coming in the area here. That's our brother John Harris from the Eye Test coming in. What is up, my brother?
How you doing, Steve?
Man, I cannot complain, my friend. How's it going? I been absent for a couple of weeks, but I said let me get back on the stick. Taking a break while the Falcons taking a break.
Hey, man, I understand. And how you enjoying the permanent vacation?
Look, it's good. I never realized there were so many other things to do on those lists that I got you.
Man.
You're not doing anything, so go ahead. So I'm learning that the hard way, but it's all good though, brother. I'm not. I don't miss that part of it at all. The where I have to go to work, but pretty soon I'm gonna get on the stick and get something done, and probably do something in my meantime. So all of y'all might run by Walmart, see somebody with a whistle in their hand waving. It might be me. So
hey, man, I'm looking for something myself, man, because I have gotten bored.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't miss the place, but I really miss my friends that I had out there, man.
Same here.
See, man,
Same here.
some of those folks were there when I got there, and man, I mean, and it's kind of like high school or the military or college or something of that nature, because
absolutely,
you're forced together,
Yeah.
and you got to be there, and you get friendships, you get attached to folk, man. I said, man,
absolutely. So go ahead.
Oh, as a matter of fact, we're having our retirees luncheon tomorrow morning. Well, tomorrow afternoon at 1:00, and we all get together, get up there to Ryan's and eat. And hey, man, it's always a good time, man. So it's just good to see those folk, man.
Absolutely. I unfortunately had a unfortunate reunion. One of my recent coworkers passed away suddenly, so I'll fill you in on that offline and see what that is. But listen, man, I know you've been peeping out this stuff like everybody else. What's your first thought when you hear the word misled? To me was a trigger, because I say to myself, for you to use all those words when we think about 5th round pick we lost, the injury you didn't tell us about, misled is such a strong word to come out with. So what was your first thought when you saw the story come out today?
I'm kind of in your boat, Steve, because there are some people that haven't watched the whole thing. I binge watched all 7 episodes.
Same here. Same here.
I binge watched all 7 episodes because it'll probably be a point of discussion tomorrow night on our show.
Okay.
But a lot of the people on my show, get ripped. I don't want to hear nothing else about it. And it's a lot of people like that.
It is.
And see, the thing is about this show is that, and I had to continue to remember that this was a compilation of the entire season.
Absolutely.
On the daily. Okay.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't, it's not like these are, they are new revelations, but then again, these revelations, they are revelations, not new. And they new information. I mean, it's really hard to kind of distinguish and keep in mind that, hey, this took place last year.
Absolutely. What do they say? Suspend your current mind. This isn't new information, but you're seeing real time what he was feeling. Because if you notice, there was also a couple of cut-ins of Raheem Morris. And think about that, because he had to come out during that time and say, and dress up for the camera and say, yeah, we had to bench him. Pretty much I'm paraphrasing, but he had to even come out during some of that. So you're right. It is kind of weird that we already knew this, but maybe we didn't know some of the intricate details of it.
Yeah, because see, Steve, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. If this hadn't really happened, I would have thought it was staged.
Yeah.
I would have thought some of this stuff was staged.
Yeah.
The interaction between him and Penix, the interaction between him and Raheem. I mean, where Raheem, one time he said there was a play that Kirk Cousins executed to perfection. Raheem said, "I love you." That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I said, and I said, "Oh, he just no."
You know that mic is on.
yeah. Now that's definitely in play.
Remember the practice, probably the first practice after. And again, y'all forgive us for watch on Netflix. It's not like we.
Well, y'all got to go look at it, y'all. Y'all got to go look at it.
You got to go look at it. But the scene where the first practice after he got demoted, and and Raheem walks over to him on the sideline, and this is my first time being on the scout team in what did he say? 10 years or something like that.
In period.
Right. But him having to play it off, and even the quarterback coach, who was funny, because the quarterback coach was like, yeah, okay, go ahead and run that play. He wasn't trying to get it to the top.
I know you got a mic on. Don't pull me into that.
He said, "Hey, ain't getting Paul done. Play the run the play."
He was trying to save his job. Hey, man, don't pull me in that. Don't pull me in that.
There you go. He want nothing to do with that.
He don't want to be involved in that. But
not at all.
Okay, go ahead and read Millie Mills' comment.
Millie Mills says, and Unc, I believe he knew the whole time what was going on with Kurt and refused to bench him for a game or two during our playoff push. So he can get a big FU as well. Oh, friendly buddy. Well, okay. Let's hit that part.
Okay.
I have made it clear. I'm a Raheem Morris fan, but I'm also a believer in holding him accountable for what happened on the season, because he quite honestly was a couple of decisions. As much as we want to blame Kirk, number one, Raheem was responsible for a couple of those losses as well, because he could have made a move early. In this particular case, where we say with Kirk, and you, I don't know if you heard earlier the quote I was telling you about when he was talking about when he read Drew Brees' book about never letting the backup get in.
Yeah.
And Jay, I'm telling you, he might have known what we know now, that Penix was ready, because he said that was week 10, and he said he knew he couldn't get out the game because he might not get back. He's in practice. He see what Penix was doing. So I truly think Raheem was just going by veteran gut. If he's telling him, hey, as a veteran, I'm going to be able to do it, he's going to get the benefit of the doubt for 2 or 3 weeks. What's your thought on that?
Steve, I'm still kind of torn on that particular part, and it goes back to your initial question about being misled.
Yeah.
The only reason that you would quote something like that from Drew Brees is that you knew.
Absolutely.
I mean, why was that particular book, passage from the book, what it was that Drew Brees said, brought up, unless you did not want to relinquish the reign and you were gutting through practices, trying not to wince and trying not to say ow when you were doing things that were hurting you.
Absolutely.
And all of that. Because the thing is, okay, now, Steve, you playing. All right.
Okay.
You twist an ankle.
Got it.
Okay. Can you go? Yeah, I can go. Well, let me see you run right here. All right. You run so that nobody can see your face. And you sitting up here biting both damn lips and gutting through. Okay. Absolutely. So see, and then they ask you, well, how was that, Kurt? Yeah, I felt a little twinge, but I'm okay. I'm all right. Then while you're throwing, all right. Yes. And see, well, people, I got to say it because he said it. All right. He said that his body started breaking down.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes,
then
he did.
He said, I didn't have, your mind wants to do certain things, but your body can't do it. I felt like I didn't have, things that I would force in or things that I would do. I was no longer able to do that. And if it wasn't me and you, Steve, it was the people on our panel and the people everywhere that was saying he has no mustard. Ain't no mustard on. He don't have no spice on it. Don't have no heat on it. Nothing. All right. We could see that. Okay. There were a couple of times that me, Tidy, coach, and everybody got together and we would do game film afterwards. And why in the world did he throw that? Okay.
Right.
Now, to his credit, I don't know whether it's because of the microphone or whatever. Every time he missed a throw in the beginning of the year, what was he saying? That was my fault. I should have done this. I should have done that. This happened, that happened. That wasn't you. That was me. Okay. Absolutely. Now, and I guess that's part of that good Christian upbringing that he turned his back on when he started lying about how injured he was.
Right.
So, and another portion of this, I'm going to go back to the misled part.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The National Football League, its subsidiaries, coaches, the owners, or whatever, they do not owe any player any explanation as to what they are going to do.
Right. Absolutely.
This is a business. Your job, when you come in and you're a quarterback, you're a running back, whatever, you're represented by an agent, your job on your side of the street is to get as much money as you can for what you are about to do. That's your job. Okay? And that's as far as it goes with you. That's as far as it goes with you. Now, if the team decide, look, the team's job is supposed to get as good as it possibly can. Now, if you come into the draft and this player falls to you, I don't care what position it is, you get that player. You owe it to the team to get that player, Mr. General Manager, Mr. Coach, Mr. Draft Scout, Mr. Whoever. You owe it to your team to make your team better. All right? Now, I'm not under any obligation to tell you who I'm going to draft and who I'm going to target and all that type of stuff. I don't have to tell you that. I don't have to let you know that. You are in business. And see, this situation with the wife kind of sniffling about Kirk losing his starting job. Excuse me, ma'am. You sitting in a multi-million-dollar house with two Mercedes. You got a Mercedes truck and you got an S590 car that y'all driving. The kids are all right. Stuff paid for. Kirk Cousins has made money in the past and sitting on money. Every time he go to the bank, the receipt just slobbing over with zeros on the right side of the paper. What are you, man? Come on. Come on.
And not to 100% insinuate that money is the greatest thing of all time, but it sure ain't bad.
It sure ain't. Especially, look, they got, look, Steve, they got wood where we got,
but
I got paste bowl. I got paste bowl. I don't even have no real wood. I got that old press bowl holding my house up. These jokers got mahogany. Man. They got varnished floors. And this joker driving the Mercedes truck, man. And come on, man. Yeah, these people not hurting for them. What?
Yeah, that house look lovely.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Beautiful house to raise children in. Nice backyard. Come on, man.
So I want to go back to a very good point you made, because just like you were saying, and I'm going to use, and I know Tom Brady gets overused. I'll go Tom Brady. I'll go Russell Wilson. He made the point to say, they told me they would get a quarterback, but they didn't tell me they would get it that high. Now, in your opinion, what difference does it make? Because if you were you still sucked from week 10 to week 14. So whether that quarterback was drafted 3rd round, 5th round, 4th round, they probably were going to have to put him in anyway, because, we just didn't know what you would, what you were. So I do believe that from Kirk Cousins' perspective, that is not going to fly with me when you say you were misled about how high they picked the quarterback. I don't care where they picked him. They were going to get him they were going to get some backup anyway. What were your thoughts on that, brother?
Steve, do you hear wide receivers complaining about where they draft other wide receivers at?
Absolutely.
Running backs, where you hear they draft other running backs at. I mean, I didn't hear a peep out of Tyler Algier after he had 1,000 yards rushing and they went and picked Bijan.
Nope.
Okay. I mean, I know quarterback is the most important position in sports. I know that. But that does not bridge or make it where you are invulnerable to being replaced, supplanted, or challenged. Because how many times have we heard, Steve, where everybody was saying when Matt Ryan was playing that he needed somebody to push him? How many times have you heard that, Steve? I mean, it was a recurring thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, Matt Ryan not doing anything because he don't have to worry about anybody pushing him. Okay, now, Kurt, Michael Penix has been drafted, and he's going to be your replacement. He's going to be your replacement. Should we need to replace you now? Right. Or should we need to replace you later? Because you're going to get replaced at some point. Okay? Right now, it's your job to keep. You can be Kirk Chains and all that type of stuff. That's swag surfing or whatever. But your production on the field determines whether you're going to be on the field. I mean, that's the only way that's the only way it can be. That's the only way it can be. The leash was really too long. The leash was really too long because unbeknownst to us, and also when they were talking about that appearance on the injury report where he scratched his own name off the injury report.
Right.
You know, come on, man. You hurt, bruh. Hey, you hurt. You throwing interceptions, man. You throwing interceptions up, man. Come on, man.
He again. It's just very disingenuous to use the word misled because I do feel like you talk about pot calling the kettle black. That was pretty much what he did. Let me say hey to a couple of people in there. Demetrius in the house. What's going on, brother? How you doing? ATLGA Faithful in the house. What is going on, my friend? Good to see you in here. Thank you for joining us. Lisa said, yeah, Julie, you and all that sniggling, not changing a single thing. The only thing hurt is Kirk Cousins' ego. Yeah. And again, Lisa, is funny because for Atlanta fans, see that show is not probably good for Atlanta fans because Atlanta fans are going to be triggered because Atlanta fans are going to say, bruh, what were you doing? Hey, I see Greg in the house. What's up, Greg? How you doing, brother? What's up, Uncle Steve's been a while. Glad to catch you live. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate you, man. Don't be a stranger. Appreciate you joining us. Me and brother John Harris from the Eye Test on YouTube here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Don't forget, y'all, hit the like button if you don't mind. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. We're glad to have y'all join us on Twitter. Glad to see y'all here and got a couple of y'all on Facebook as well. Jay, while I got you, and we're talking about things as far as the Falcons are concerned, I also saw a list of the Falcons where they said the best, we were number 9 as far as, and I forgot what the terminology was, and I'm sorry I brought it up and then forgot that quick. As far as they were saying, we had one of the more explosive. I'm gonna see what the terminology was that they had for us. That we had one of, yes. As far as running back, as far as wide receiver, running back, and tight end talent, they say the Falcons are number 9 in the league going into the season. Now, I know you, and I know your theme about putting it on the field, take it off the paper and put it on the field. How are you feeling about pretty much So that what they say, wide receiver core with Drake and Mooney, the backfield with the aforementioned Algier and Bijan, and then the young Penix doing his thing at quarterback. How do you feel just right off the rip before they played in the game, obviously? How do you feel about our talent level?
From last year, we were beating ourselves. Mm-hmm. We were beating ourselves because the talent that we had last year was good enough to win with, man, beat anybody in the National Football League. Hey, we look, the Kansas City game was a referee special in our own spot. Okay, I thought WWF was out there officiating. Abdullah the Butcher was putting a fork in the top of somebody's head, and the referee returned arguing with the manager.
Not Abdullah.
Yeah, man. Abdullah, George Animal Steel. Well, a lot of people don't even know about those.
Oh, I remember.
Hulk Hogan is being the great what was that name? Great Muta. Yeah, spit some of that green stuff in his eye, and the referee didn't see it.
Right.
And
right.
I mean, Pitts gets mugged in the end zone. If he doesn't get mugged in the end zone, Falcons win that game. I mean, we beat Philadelphia in Philadelphia. Yep. Okay, and it wasn't a situation where Philadelphia had to take off or Philadelphia had to gain steam. Philadelphia was already a good team. Right. So those games showed me that the Falcons were ready. Yeah. I mean, some mistakes from the coaching staff, some mistakes, because see, that was week 2. But the thing was, you beat Philadelphia, a good team, in week 2. Mm-hmm. So it was a portent for what potentially could have been a real good season. And coming into this season, I'm thinking that the same thing can happen even better because of what we're bringing back. It's not like we're doing a big flushing out of anything, a big change or whatever. You're bringing back people who were beginning to mesh at the end of last season with the quarterback that replaced Kirk Cousins, with a quarterback that has an arm.
Yes.
Yes. He has an arm.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
He's not worrying about it. I don't feel nothing in this. I can't feel nothing in that. I mean, Michael Penix, those tight throws where you have to put it on somebody, even though the man is hanging in your back pocket or got you by the collar right there. Penix has the arm to put it on him.
Yes, sir.
And all you got to do is catch it. That's it. All you got to do is catch it, hold on, whatever. Running back, I mean, we got a two-headed monster. I really wish that we would get a bona fide fullback, like Buffalo has, like Baltimore has.
Baltimore, yeah, Ricard.
I mean, now Steve, you got a monster back there at running back, and you got a 300-pound fullback. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I mean, really, you want to run the ball? Run it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the ingredients are there for us to have a good season, offensively to have a good season. And, the talk about the people that we drafted as far as our defensive line, as far as our secondary, they are saying that we should have a good season defensively. I mean, we should really be able to get after the quarterback and really should pick some stuff off. And, even last year, I mean, Jesse Bates, man, good grief now. I mean, you had a ball hawk back there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm thinking we should do pretty good as long as we don't beat ourselves. That's the thing that irks me more than anything else. We just have a propensity. We'll go in a dark alley and we'll take the gun out and we'll shoot ourselves or take the 2x4 and beat ourselves upside the head. Rob will just stand back there and wait till you get through. Then take your money. He ain't done nothing.
Yeah, we will. We'll do that in a heartbeat. Most definitely. Yeah, I agree with most of what you said on him. Let me say hey to Kevin real quick. What's up, Kevin? How you doing, sir? Good evening to you and our brother Henry in the house. What's going on, sir? Good to see you. You have a great one too, man. We appreciate it, man. Thank you for joining us here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. I'm a little concerned about the defensive line. That's the only part, and not even so much. I know everybody's, Grady Jarrett, which again, thank you, Grady, but you didn't lose Aaron Donald. But I do feel like they're going to be depending on some young cats, with the exception of Omanyata and my guy Fox from the Chargers. That's the only thing I'm worried about as far as the defense. I think we upgraded talent-wise through the draft and through free agency at the linebacker position. And, the young guys, that guy from Notre Dame, Watts, is pretty good. So I definitely think we should be in good shape as far as the safeties are concerned. So I do feel good about that. But yeah, I feel nice about the talent level that we have, man. I do feel like we are gonna be going in a good direction. So let's hope we don't see Kirk Cousins on the field, because obviously if we do, that means Michael Penix is hurt. Hopefully we don't get a chance to see him if all things work out the way they have. I would be remiss if I didn't touch on a couple of things real quick from the other sports here in Atlanta. Speaking of talent upgrade, man, I know you gotta love what the Atlanta Hawks have done as far as kind of retooling what we have on the roster with some young talent. Almost looks like they're kind of trying to go in the direction of what OKC is, with maybe one star and a couple of 3-and-D players on the team. That's what it sounds like, with the maturing of Ricochet and Jalen Johnson. Hopefully can stay healthy. What's up, Juan? How you doing, brother? Good to see you joining us here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Now, I know you've got to like what we've done on the roster, but what about that little bug that you've been hearing about, the possibility of maybe, just maybe, if Giannis is available to get on the team? Do you like where we are now, or would you kind of package up some stuff and go get the Greek Freak to bring his show to the ATL?
Steve, I have never been a fan of destroying a team for one person.
One person, yeah.
When they traded away 4 first-round draft picks just to get DeJounte Murray, those young'uns, the coup-mongers, the people who never had any basketball experience, the people who didn't know what they were doing, contrary to the advice of a real NBA executive for paying that much to do that, you see that set us back at least 3 to 4 years, okay? Because what your new general manager, Ansi Saleh, has done, he's grabbed those picks back. That's what he's done. What he's done is get those picks back. Now, you getting back picks that you should have had 2 or 3 years ago that you could have packaged up to get someone even earlier, or just have your own picks, okay? Now, the only concern I have with what the Hawks have done is Kristaps Porzingis. This man has not played 50 games in 2 years, 60 games in at least 4. Had a mystery illness that no one knew anything, they didn't know what was wrong with it, okay? Knee injuries, things of that sort. You're going to pay this man $30 million for a 1-year rental, okay? Now, Boston also got rid of Cornette. the other 7-footer that they had there. Now I would have preferred to have gotten him just for being available, because there's something that old Chauncey King used to always say: the best ability is availability.
Absolutely.
And you got to be out there. You got to be out there. But Porzingis, people are saying, well, if we can get 50 games out of it, yeah, and see, and that's another thing. We draft players, or we get free agents that are in the ICU. Clint Capella, Bogey, and now Porzingis. I mean, everybody in the ICU, the Hawk Scouts just live down there at Grady Hospital, waiting for somebody to come through. He kind of tall. He kind of tall on that. You played ball before, son? Come on with us. We'll get you.
Well, the good thing about this particular move, and before I go any further, man, let me introduce your other half on the eye test. I have not heard from him in quite a while on here, but I know he does a lot of posting, always watching what he's doing on there. Our brother Winston Thornton in the house. Also joining us on the stage is brother William Amy, who be out there doing his thing as well. Appreciate you joining me, Will.
What's going on?
Oh, man, nothing much, man. But I'm going to start with my brother Winston. First, Winston, what's been going on, man?
Hey, man, what's going on, fellas, man? It feels good to be on stage with a bunch of heavy hitters, man.
Man. Oh, brother, we trying to be like you, bro. We trying to be like you, Winston. So Winston, before I circle back to the Hawks, man, obviously the news of the day is about your favorite quarterback and mine, Kirk Cousins, and his statement about about him being misled by the Falcons organization when they pretty much Terry Fontenot might have saved his job by drafting Michael Penix. What are your thoughts about Kirk Cousins' comments on that?
Well, I mean, once again, thank you for having me on here.
Of course, brother.
What's going on, John? John laid back. You listen to the 8 tracks on the Sunday. He laid back in the He going 25 miles per hour in the 54.
I believe it.
I'm tired.
Hey, you too. I just got in from work.
Oh man.
But I mean, like I felt that I was saying that for the longest. Like, for if he had known that we were going to draft somebody that early, he would have stayed in Minnesota. He was already established in Minnesota. There was no purpose of him going from Minnesota to Atlanta at all, unless they said and told him, "Hey, look, you're gonna be the guy for at least 2 years. We're gonna go get somebody somewhere within those 2 years, but you're gonna be the guy for 2 years." And then they took him and poured the wool over his eyes. And he said as much. He said, "I didn't know nothing about the draft pick until my agent got called, and my agent got called when they were turning in the pick." He said that. He said that a long time ago.
Let me play devil's advocate with you real quick, Winston, because here's my theory on that. Do you really think Minnesota was going to re-sign him?
Minnesota was going to re-sign him. They weren't going to sign him to what he wanted.
There you go. So when you talk about being, and this is not to say you aren't right. You are right. But from Kirk Cousins' perspective, brother, don't act like you weren't chasing the bag. You were chasing the bag. Minnesota probably at best would have given him maybe 1 year or 2 year, one of those 2 year contracts where they can cancel the second year, get all the guaranteed money moved up to last year. That's, I think, what they would have done. So when I hear him say misled, I'm saying, brother, you getting paid an extra $50-60 million to be misled. So at some point, you have to, let's not pretend like the Falcons didn't do you a favor. Even if you end up getting benched, as he is now, he's still going to be compensated. So I'm not trying to tell you, again, money is everything, but I am saying, well, at least if I'm getting demoted, at least the bill's getting paid, and at least, I'm getting my money. So it's not a whole lot to complain about or to say being misled. That's the only thing that bothers me about that. William, what do you think about the situation when you first heard that today? When you woke up today and you saw that ESPN alert come on and tell you Kirk Cousins said he was misled by the Falcons, what was your first thought?
Foolishness. Just foolishness, because he didn't say none of this last month. He was like, stuff don't, he said, I've been in the league for 10, 12 years, things happen, I'll go accept my role as a backup and mentor Michael Penix Jr. That's what he said. That's on him out. And they just wrap mini camp up. But I feel like right now it's gonna be distracted because he's saying all this time about he was saying that he didn't know they were gonna draft a quarterback. You knew, because I obviously Terry Fontenot off the blank already told you when you signed, hey, we probably signed drafting a quarterback in the draft. But my thing is, he's got to suck it up and be a man. If you don't want to be here, go ahead and retire. Simple as that.
And he ain't gonna do that, will you? Because he got a $37 million attachment to it. So, but to your point, you don't want it to be. I really don't think at this point, William, he probably not gonna be a distraction, because if he's gonna be somebody that's gonna muck up the thing, and that's why I'm kind of also telling people don't go too crazy about what was said in the documentary, because it's not like he said this yesterday. This documentary was wrapped up at the end of the year last year. So these are all things that he said late last or early in January and all of that. So it's not like he said this.
From the beginning of the season, Steve. From the beginning of the season.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking. At the very end. At the very end. Remember on the very end when he was wrapping it up. For those who haven't watched, go watch. But so he was saying some of that stuff at the beginning of the season about being misled.
Uncle Steve, and I ain't mean to cut you off. I think that's why he was playing like that, because he was really worried about Michael Penix taking his job instead of worried about, the opponents and reading our playbook. That's what I think, because he let the outside noise get in his head. And when he got hurt, he should have just told, hey, Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson, I want to put the team on, can y'all put me in injuries or get this young man a chance? He ain't did that. I just feel like he should have held himself accountable. Don't time to point the finger on Michael Penix because he took your job. Right. My thing is, you should have took your blame as a man. I've been hurt, my elbow, my throwing shoulder. I got hurt in New Orleans. Can y'all bench me? You know what I'm saying? I respect that we could have just had Michael Penix playing against the Broncos and bye week, name Michael Penix Jr. start. But it is what it is. That was last year. I'm so focused on this year. I ain't even worried about no Kirk Cousins. Yeah. For me, he could go. Or just be quiet. Just don't say nothing, because you already got the team not even messing with you like that.
Let me toss this in there too.
Go ahead.
For people that haven't seen it, he also said that he read Drew Brees' book when it came out in 2010. Drew Brees said, and I quote, "I refuse to allow a backup to see the field. I learned this from Doug Flutie. Mm-hmm. If I'm hurt, I'm going to push through it as best as I can. Because if I go to the bench, I have the opportunity of losing my job."
Right.
And I mean, to be honest, that's how Drew Brees got his start in San Diego.
Right. And but I think this is where, and again, making clear that I'm saying money isn't always the answer all the time, though it's a good consolation prize. He signed a $180 million contract with $100 million of that guaranteed. So if he wasn't feeling, if you watch the documentary, he wasn't at his best during that first 10 weeks, even though he had the big games against Tampa. And he had a good fourth quarter against Philly. I don't want anybody to get twisted. That whole Philly game wasn't that great. But when you can't perform and you're still getting that guaranteed money, the guaranteed money that the Players Association fought for, that's kind of like the but part of the situation. So from Kurt's situation, I'm like, yeah, you can't play, but you're getting paid. Let me hit these comments real quick. A couple of people coming in. Juan says, I mean, he did sign up for to be the starter for at least 2 seasons, but if he wasn't able to compete, then it shouldn't be a big deal. Millie Mills says, so technically him being greedy and selfish cost him the starting job. Greg says, nobody feels sorry for Cousins. Lord knows I don't. Our brother Dexter Owens in the house. What's up, Dex? He said, I don't feel sorry for him. When he signed that contract, he didn't feel sorry knowing that he wasn't healthy signing that contract. Now he's saying he's got to work on his mobility. Tell us that before. Very good point. Billy says, your backup was a first-round quarterback. Bruh, your job was on the line regardless. And Henry says, Kurt is acting like he was a Falcon for numerous years like Matty Ice. He's not exactly in his 20s. He's got to understand the reason for drafting Penix. And it was something, Winston, that me and John were talking about earlier. I don't care if they drafted Penix in the first, second, third, fourth round. Looks like we were going to need a quarterback to back us up anyway, because that wasn't going to change Kirk being broke down by week 10. So you can't get fixated on where they drafted the quarterback. If you're confident in your job, or if you're healthy as you're supposed to be, it shouldn't be a big deal.
I agree with you, though. I agree with you. I just feel like he's just doing this to think he want to get traded or something like that. I'm just like, bros, like, just suck it up and be a man. Just don't say nothing, because you already putting story in the pot. We already on hot water because the prank call with Jeff Albridge. I ain't taking it off topic, but we not really rocking with you right now. Just be quiet. Grab a clipboard and take notes.
The more you just sit there and rock the boat, you're not gonna get traded, because 31 other teams in the league are sitting there watching what's going on.
There you go.
So even if he wants to get traded, and he has a no trade clause in his deal, 31 other teams, somebody will have to want you. And I see the message you're doing with Atlanta since day one. Not something that you started in the middle of the season. Day one, you got us in hot water. Your first press conference, you got us in hot water.
Yep. They ain't lost draft picks
all season long. It was clear all the way up through Kirktober, and then
November cold.
Then the proverbial phrase, the mess hit the fan. The mess hit the fan from there, and it's been downhill snowballing ever since. And it's like every time he opened his mouth, it just digging a deeper and deeper hole. At this point, like, it's almost unless somebody have like actual playoff aspiration or think that they have a team that can go on a deep run and their quarterback go down. Kirk Cousins, 9 times out of 10, I'll be honest, it's very possible he might end up retiring after this season.
Oh, yeah. I think the money is on that.
Yeah, I think so. So they're going to take his money off his books.
You done burned so many bridges. You done burned so many bridges with your mouth. And I ain't been no Kirk with his vocal before he got to Atlanta. Everything I heard was he was a good the company man. And then you get to Atlanta and you just turn up. I don't know if it's the Southern cooking. He done got some lemon pepper wings from Magic. I don't know what's going on, but he got to Atlanta and Kirk O'Chain just went to another level.
So just to answer that question, let me get it up here on the screen so y'all can see. You're absolutely right. Winston. He can get out of we can get out of the contract after this year. So that's why it's so important. Right now, the Falcons are responsible for this $37 million, or really it's $38 million.
That's still a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but at the same time, after that, though, you're going to be done. There is a dead cap, but what you can do with that dead cap, you'll be able to spread that out.
Yeah,
you can spread that $45 million out, and then we can go and do some real things.
And I had a question. Did we sign our whole rookie class this year?
Oh yeah, everybody signed. Everybody signed. Everybody's good.
So.
Everybody's good. Yeah, we good to go. We good to go. Henry says, I can still think about what happened with the 49ers when they had Jimmy G go down. Lance also went down, and they had to go with Purdy. It's crucial to have backups. And they said, and didn't Kirk get the Falcons in trouble involving Darnell Mooney before the 2024 season, or was it something else? Now I think they're alluding to the trainer situation. You know, when you're doing the free agent talking to everybody, you're not supposed to be talking to certain personnel in the on the team when you're only supposed to be talking. And the crazy thing was, he really, that was one of the dumbest things in the world when you think about it. He cost us a 5th round pick just because he couldn't keep his mouth shut because he was too leaky.
But this is the crazy part. They took and made a rule this offseason that players can have one phone call or Zoom meeting directly with the team.
Oh, word?
Yeah. I call it the Kirk Cousins rule.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy how they it and again. Go ahead.
We get burned, and then they change the rule. Boy, I tell you,
burn to the state, brother. Burn to the state.
So Rich McKay, what are you doing? Rich McKay, what are you doing?
Y'all leave Rich alone, man. Rich is the most blamed man in Atlanta, and that brother had much to do with the team in the last couple of years, man. I'm talking
about his role as an official on these competition or
the competition.
Yeah. You know what's
my bad.
Hey, you remember the Shane Company said you have a friend in the diamond business, and they used to tout that trying to sell those rings. I got a friend in the rule business. He ain't doing me no good. he ain't not doing the team no good.
If he ain't doing it, it's a day late or $1 short.
Much. Winston, I haven't had a chance to talk to you since the draft, brother. How do you like not only the draft, but some of the free agents coming in? I've had a chance to listen to you when you and Dre ain't fighting all the time on air. I haven't had a chance to hear what your opinion is on the upgraded talent, because that's in my opinion what it is. I don't know what you think on the defensive side of the ball. I know they're young, but this is the first time in my opinion where I truly feel like the talent that we have from the draft and a couple of the free agents is a little bit upgraded from what we've had.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Man. What James Brown said, Papa got a brand new shoe. Things are different around these parts.
Yes, sir.
Like, man, the one thing that we've needed since 2016, we didn't one down, we didn't double down, we triple down on. We triple down on it.
Yeah.
Yep. Like if we can't make it work with this talent, clear the front out. Clear the front off. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey,
He's right.
You're right, bro.
what they did, because like for one, I'll probably sit and say Terry Fontenot is my GM because he took it. He went all out in the first round. But then with the limited amount of picks that he had, he concentrated on not just the front seven, but the back four.
Right.
He brought in a running mate for Jesse Bates.
Yep.
He brought in a ball hawk and safety that can double as a nickel corner.
Yep, Billy.
Like we have all the pieces. We have all the pieces. Now, not to be presumptuous, if we do not rank within the top 15 with this defense, with the talent that we have on this defense, clear all coaching position. Start over from scratch.
You gonna let me and John? You gonna let me and John go coach?
Hey man, hey look, if y'all go coach, I'll be the water boy. The water boys get paid $2,000 every game. I'll be the water boy. I'll be the water boy. Hey John, you look a little thirsty. Here, go on, take a squirt.
But Winston, I ain't trying to jump the gun.
Man, you ain't the same when you're hungry.
What you say, Will?
No, I was telling Winston. I agree with you. We do need to be top 15, and I was looking earlier. I don't pay attention to the media. They talking about we gonna be 7, 8 and 9 again. I don't believe that. The white dude with the bald head with the beard. I don't know his name, but I think we 10-7, 11-6 this year though, for sure. And we got to stay healthy.
You got to think about it. Like as of right now, our schedule is rated as what, the 4th easy. I want to say. Our schedule is like the 4th easy. All right. If we cannot get comfortably double-digit win, there's an issue somewhere. There's an issue somewhere. Like you can't sit there and say, well, I mean, Raheem was such a good coach, and he just didn't have the talent around him. Well, now you got talent in abundance.
I ain't lying.
Like pass rush wise, we literally have like 3 ways that we can sit there and throw at you.
Yep.
You got 3 ways. We got
Brian Charles.
You got Floyd. You got Floyd and Walker. You can put Walker and Pierce. You can put Pierce and Floyd. You can put Trice and Walker, Trice and Pierce, Trice and Floyd.
Yep.
Like
no excuses.
You still got AK. You still got AK.
Yep.
You still got
D'Angelo
Malone. Like you have so many possibilities of what you can do to generate a pass rush. If we cannot get a pass rush with the talent that we have on this team, clear house. Because these players ain't getting no younger. Clear house.
And you just named somebody, Winston. I'm telling y'all, I was high on Braylon Trice coming out of Washington. I know everybody was talking about Penix, and I was saying, I said, man, y'all need to go look at that tape of Braylon Trice. And Braylon Trice is a hitter. And I think when he got hurt last year, it was super unfortunate. But now that you have all this talent around him, I think Williams' favorite player, Troy Anderson, might be on the
chop block
on the chopping block.
No,
you're gonna have to get rid of that jersey you got, Will. That you
got. My favorite player, Helms, but I think Helms he be like a rotation dude.
Oh yeah, that's right. Helms is back this year.
Let me tell you something though. Hey fellas, this is gonna be a difference, man.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I don't want to doom and gloom, y'all. Helms, Malone, Ebiketie, Anderson, Abernathy, cats that we were kind of keeping because they were just roster fillers. I think with some of the talent you got, but we haven't even mentioned Devon Diablo.
I don't think he getting cut.
And so my point, and I didn't mean to mention him as far as a cut. What I'm saying is, as far as the other folks that Winston was mentioning, when you talking about Trice, you talking about Ebiketie, you talking about Floyd and Pierce and Walker. you don't have that much room. It's only 53 folks. And then I hear a lot of people talking about the young wide receiver, undrafted free agent. Everybody talking about Kobe Bryant. And so
Kobe
y'all, it ain't that much room.
Yeah, Kobe taking somebody's spot.
Yeah, so that's my point. I mean, we just brought back D. Alford. Does D. Alford take a back seat? You see what I'm saying? So you know why I mentioned that, William? Because when you mentioned Helms, as much I like Helms, but Helms, you got basically two guys that can play the safety position. I know they're gonna probably do some different things with Bowman as far as in the nickel probably are concerned. But hey, man.
But Uncle Steve, I can see Billy Bowman that nickel position.
Absolutely, I can. I don't see D. Alford.
Yeah, because last year we was getting tortured. Ooh, man, them tight ends was Jaden Daniels kept targeting D. Alford and Minnesota. Like it was 2 games I looked on film. I said we need to address that nickel cornerback position. And I'm glad we got Billy Bowman. He gonna be taking that start and he get that nod. And for that strong safety, I might have Xavier Watts and Jordan Phillips go at it, but I got Xavier Watts. He my sleeper.
I'm gonna tell you how bad D. Alford was last season. Through the first 7 games of the season, quarterbacks that threw at D. Alford had a perfect passer rating and had like 7 touchdowns. That's how bad D. Alford was. Like I don't care if you played lockdown for the rest of the season, you can't recover from that. Like your stats cannot recover from that. That's how bad that was. Now,
it don't matter if you play man of zone. Go ahead, Wilson. It don't matter what he was playing.
With Helm coming back, Helm will be out there like in like big nickel situations.
Yeah, like dime situations.
To maximize the defense, you go with Bates and Watts because they are mirror images of each other.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which one you can go single high and have one sitting in the box and just man up on the tight end. They are mirror images. You can't do that with Helm because Helm doesn't really have that range.
Yeah, he don't have that coverage either.
He's a box safety. He's like Keanu Neal. He's a little bit quicker than Keanu, but that's how his game goes. See what I'm saying? Like so, Helm big nickel situation. Yeah, have him out there. But outside of that, you go Watts and Bates, and that give you so many options with your coverage and how you want to disguise your coverage, how you want to rotate players. Like the possibility with the talent that we have now, the possibilities are endless. And that's just me just thinking like defensively minded. The possibilities are endless. There's nothing that we really cannot do. Except for like line up in like a bare 4-6 and be demanding on the line of scrimmage. Because we still a little light on the D line. We got talent on the D line, but we still a little light to sit there and run that bell.
I agree 100%. I agree 100% with you. Henry just brought up somebody else you got to think about. Wow. Hey man, Clark Phillips might be a casualty too.
It's
getting cut.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Listen. Yeah. And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to knock some of the favorites that we've had. That William, we can't be emotional about it anymore.
Not either. I'm not knocking you.
No. I'm not. And I was just saying your name. I wasn't saying you were saying that. My bad. I was just saying as fans, you know how we remember Nate Landman.
The big names and all that. Yeah.
And we get overhyped about mid players. Remember Croy Bierman?
Yeah.
Remember Paul Warlow? Remember those cats right there? Those were mid players. They served the purpose for a quick second.
They would get cut.
Absolutely.
Or the practice squad.
Look. If we're honest with ourselves, Ricardo Allen was a mid player.
He was.
When he happened to be a leader on that particular team, but he wasn't great.
Yeah, after he had that injury, he that's when 18 he fell off the cliff.
Before he had the injury, he wasn't that great.
Yeah,
he was smart. He was smart. That's how he got
2 times, right?
Yeah.
Then he got cut twice.
Yeah,
Before
I think
he-
he was on the practice squad with us, and I think he when Dan Quinn came in, he made it the roster because I don't know who he had. Somebody got hurt, and he took that spot on that free safety
Right.
spot.
Because Mike Smith cut him on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, it was 24. I think it was 2012.
Yeah.
2012.
Yeah. And so, you know, I guess, and that's now what I was saying. And trust me, I wasn't picking on you, William. I'm just telling. I should say, average Atlanta fan. This is not the team that we just gonna hold on to
names,
average players or names just because. Yeah, Clark Phillips is a good story. It was nice. Led the college in interceptions coming out of Utah. And came in, but has he really done much since? Not really. This is year 3, so we need to. I mean, and think about it. Ulbrich ain't trying to be loyal to guys who weren't doing the job before.
Exactly.
You coming in as the defensive coordinator. There is nobody on the team sans probably Jesse and AJ that you can truly say is untouchable. Now, in my opinion, I love what Caden Ellis is as well. And I'm not talking about the rookies and stuff. I'm talking about like veterans who were here before.
Yeah.
But when AJ and Jesse, those are the only guys I'm not moving out of. And what about who?
I see. You ain't got to worry about. No, I was saying you ain't got to worry about.
I say those 3. I say those 3. Jesse, AJ, and Caden.
Caden Ellis.
Those 3.
That's it.
They in at their own table.
Absolutely. Everybody else
fight for
you. Yeah, absolutely. You got to fight. You got to fight.
Hughes, D'Alford, y'all jaws on the line.
When Ulbrich was here, there's nobody from that defense. When Ulbrich was here last time.
Hey, my brother Entourage says after 7 straight losing seasons, emotion is out the window.
Oh, most definitely.
And it should be. It's got to be. I know that's Ron Thomas on there. What's up, Ron? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Ron?
And Henry says Desmond Trufant was another what if too. Yeah, Desmond Trufant to me, I never was a huge Desmond Trufant. I thought that draft, I thought Robert Alford was the better cornerback. I think he just couldn't stop holding people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his only flaw. I'd take Robert Alford in a heartbeat over Desmond Trufant.
I'm gonna be honest. If Jalen Collins actually had time to actually develop instead of getting in trouble,
getting his butt in trouble.
Jalen Collins, give him like year 3 or year 4. I would take that version of him over Trufant.
They couldn't keep him out of trouble. Hey, Carrie is in here with us. Hey, Carrie, how you doing? Thanks for joining us on the Twitter line. She say, hey, everybody, hope y'all are doing well. Just stepping into the lounge. I haven't decided if I want to watch Kirk on QB. I might keep my peace. Yeah, Carrie, I know you're a fan, so you're gonna watch. But just get ready for some scratch your head moments and some weird energy from Kirk in that. Millie says at the end of the day, if you a bum, you got to go. You got to get to stepping. He had another one. He had another one up there. He said, if you can't swim, then you bounce to drizzle.
Hey, John.
Yo.
Hey, have you seen QB yet?
Yeah, he watched.
Quarterback?
He watched so much. Yeah, he watched.
Oh yeah. I watched the whole thing, and me and Steve were discussing a couple of the points that you brought up earlier, especially about that book that he had read, and the conclusion that I had drawn with it was that okay. Since you quoting from that book about not letting the person take your starting job, that means that you knew that you were hurt enough not to be out or not to be taken out, and you were gonna try to force the issue, no matter whether you had a dead arm or a live arm or whatever. That's the conclusion I drew. You know, valid or not, that's the conclusion I drew, because see, first thing I'm thinking, why did you choose that particular passage of the book? And see, to his mouth open in nature, why would you even say that, man? Your mouth, look, this man, see, this is the one that you don't take with you when it's a little dicey. Okay. No. This is you don't have him in the car with you. You don't go in the club with him. Oh man, he already got 3 girlfriends, man. I don't know why you talking to him. You know what I mean? Shut up. Man, I mean, it's just like the old folks say, he like a bad refrigerator, can't keep nothing cold.
He run his mouth.
Yeah. And see, this is the thing. Okay. The things that we heard while they were taking place during the course of the year were bad enough. Now you're hearing things that he was saying to people in interviews during the course of the season, on the sidelines during the course of the season. And all of this is just adding to a big mosaic of, I don't know when to shut up. I forgot that I got a microphone on. I'm just an open book. Yeah, I mean, anything, you know, boy. And Winston, the thing that got me, and I just told Steve, oh, his wife sitting up in there just a boo-hoo. Kirk, he don't have no job. Yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna tell the kid. Yeah.
Hold on. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard the extras and stuff. Let's dive deeper into this. What was she crying for?
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, driving the hey Wilson, driving the Benz truck. Wife got an S590 house 2 times the size of mine. Every wall with wood on it. They ain't got no paint. They ain't painted over no press board and no sheetrock. Every wall got wood on it. Every surface of floor got wood on it. I mean, and paid for. $100 million contract, guaranteed. And I really hate that Kirk lost his job. Wait.
I'm all saying, what you crying for?
Was she not watching the season? Did she not watch the season? Or she was just there for when Kirk came home to rub his back or something?
Yeah, but no. My point was that it ain't like you got a $1,500 house payment that you done missed a couple of payments on. The kids ain't ate in a week. You your hair all matted up and nasty up. Kirk Cousins don't have no clothes to wear. I mean, the way that she, Kurt, he's no longer the starter, and well, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Come on now.
That man got like $300 million in the bank account. Be all right. Y'all will be fine.
So again, when you watch it, Winston, it's gonna be funny because you got to listen to the background music because it's gonna be that.
Yeah. Oh man, the violin. Hey, look here. The violin player got paid overtime.
You're gonna be watching Saving Private Ryan or something.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve, I thought I was looking at Lost in Space.
Bruh, that's what it sounded. He was in that car, and they had that sad music going. Well, and again,
he's gonna cry when he gets in the car.
I want to be careful. I want to be careful because I do understand that from the wife's standpoint, it is a different emotion because she cares about him as a person. So, there was a big lead up. There's going to be this big dramatic. He's driving home from finding out that he's getting benched. So the crying wasn't so much for losing losing the game. I mean, losing the thing. I mean, I don't know. I'm just real careful because I know sometimes, and you know, as a spouse, I don't want to get too funky on that, but I get where she might.
Hey, Steve, I understand. Man, I'm telling you, the sad music started when he got hurt in New Orleans.
Funny.
When he got sacked in New Orleans. Oh man, the doggone violin player went into overtime. I thought a whole darn symphony was coming.
he was trying to play Beethoven on the violin.
Man, Winston, you just got to see it. You just got to see it. I mean,
I'm gonna cut it on as soon as we
y'all ain't got no love. Lisa say, right, $300 million for a man that literally played in one playoff game his entire career. Whatever, Kurt. Whatever. Billy Mills said, "No, say it how it is." Tell he said, "Tell her real quick."
The cap.
Look, I'm cause see, okay, they remind me that I know that it's not the same situation, but you remember Kim Zolciak and Troy Bierman?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
See,
oh yeah,
that's what they remind me of, but I don't know why. But they remind me of that, and I'm just saying, if you've been in the NFL now I'm wondering, was she acting like that when Minnesota told him we are not going to re-sign you? Because see, the only reason Kirk Cousins left because according to what Kirk Cousins said in the interview, he said that, yes, Minnesota, what are your plans concerning me? What are you going to do as far as I'm concerned? They said, well, Kurt, we can't match that. I'm trying to think whether they were trying to match. Minnesota had the right to match what Atlanta was offering, right? Or did they?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They did.
All right. That's what the conversation was.
Well,
he asked Minnesota.
He wasn't. Well, let me scratch that. He was going to be. You know how they have what they call the tampering period.
Yeah.
During the tampering period, he still.
Okay.
Hey,
yeah.
he froze.
Yeah, he froze. Come back on there. But I think Minnesota was going to a different direction on them though.
Kind of match
was going
whatever.
Hey, you had froze there for a second.
Froze up.
My bad. That's that dang Winston, man. Winston threw some jubaju on my stuff, man. Winston came off work, threw some stuff off. No, but during the tampering period,
threw it on Kirk Cousins. He might have performed.
During the tampering period, any team can talk to him, but Minnesota had the right to say, "Oh, we can either match." They'll have the right to say, "Oh, we can match that." If they're offering that, they had the right to do that. So that's what it is.
He was a restricted free agent.
He wasn't a restricted free agent, but it's kind of the thing. Right. It's kind of the thing that got him in trouble, Winston, with the Falcons. He's still legally on the Minnesota team until that first day of free agency.
Yeah,
he's legally still on the team. So, LA, New York, New England can offer him stuff, but Minnesota will be able to know exactly what they offered him. So say, for instance, if the New York Jets would have offered him $200 million, Minnesota still being on his team, they can say, "Oh, we see that 200, we'll make it 205. They can still do that. That's what Minnesota did with us. We made the offer to Kirk. Minnesota said, "Oh, y'all foolish. We ain't giving y'all none of that." So that's what ended up happening there. Now look who jumped in here, man. Look at Philly's finest coming his large, gigantic head in our stream today. Ryan, the historian, is in here. What's going on, Ryan?
Man, your head is about as big as a milk dud times 10. Don't start with me today. I'm still mad at Kirk Cousins about this BS that I just saw. on Netflix. I'm already on episode 4. It's pathetic.
It
you
gets
you
worse.
you late.
It
You
gets
late.
worse.
No.
You
You gotta
late,
remember.
historian.
Hey, no, I'm just saying it's pathetic.
Oh yeah.
It is horrible. I'm just
It
stepping
gets
in
worse.
with y'all.
It gets
Have you been
worse.
listening to the theme music, Ryan?
Man, and listen, Steve, I seriously thought the Titanic. I seriously thought the Titanic, bro. When we heard, listen, John, I'm with you on this. I was expecting the Titanic to slide out in the middle of that field and start sinking through the grass. That's what I was thinking.
Right.
I'm like, dude,
They don't want that bad, man.
it's all I'm saying is this, man. It's a business at the end of the day. We don't give a damn about your feelings because let's be honest, you definitely didn't give a damn about the Falcons when we lost a draft pick. You didn't care about all the stuff that you started putting us up in. So why are we gonna have a soft spot for you?
Man, not even in the least. So tell me, so tell us, Ryan, since we gonna catch up, and y'all make sure y'all check Ryan out, Birdcage LLC. He'll be on Thursday. Who's that special guest? You said you had a female scout coming on this Thursday, brother. Talk to everybody. Tell them who it is you got on there coming out.
I got the first female NFL scout in history, Miss Connie Carberg from the New York Jets coming through. First ever.
Nice.
So she was around.
Nice.
So her dad was a team doctor for the Jets back when they were in the old AFL days. So she grew up with Joe Namath and those guys. She's responsible for getting Mark Gastineau drafted. And I know you remember him.
Yeah. Oh, come on now.
The sack dance.
Go. Man. He just lost the he just lost a ruling this week because he was trying to sue the ESPN about the little confrontation he had with Brett Favre. He didn't want them to show that. He didn't want them to show that coverage. I'm saying to myself, well, brother, you the one approached Brett Favre. What are you complaining about?
Oh yeah, he trying to get his sack back.
Yeah, but I mean,
he trying to get his sack record back.
But it was great TV. I don't know why he's suing for it. That's the only reason I watched the New York Sack Exchange thing.
Think about it. Between him and Joe, and this the bad part about it. And she was explaining this when I talked to her on the phone. She's gonna talk more about it Thursday.
Oh, okay.
She said, the one that kept the peace on that defensive line was Abdul Salam. God rest his soul.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
She, and she was like, he was always the peaceful one. But she said between Gastineau and Marty Lyons or whatnot,
right?
They just didn't. Those two just would always bump heads. And Lyons, even though they didn't get along, would have his back. It was him and Joe Klecko that couldn't stand each other.
I don't know if I'd be getting in Klecko away, boy. That's a big boy. That was old country.
Yeah.
I still remember. I still remember that scene in Smokey and the Bandit 2.
Yeah, when
he got out of the truck.
He got out the truck.
And Jackie Gleason pacemaker went off. Beep, beep, beep.
That's a big boy, man. Ryan, so tell me. I know you said you watched the first 4.
Yeah.
So my first. I know you got a couple more to watch, but in general, what we're talking about is the wording. Misled. That was the first thing we saw on the ESPN story this morning when we heard what he said. Tell me how you feel. I already know how you feel, but tell everybody how you feel about his wording of misled to the Falcon fans out there. How are you feeling about how he worded that for us today?
I put it to you like this. I'm willing to put on Kyle Pitts' Florida Gator jersey before I go to bet for that joker. And y'all know I hate the University of Florida.
I was about to say I hate
the University of Florida. But I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. When you sit back and you look at the fact that this man said he was misled, how are you misled in a business where every year the NCAA is nothing but a factory for a replacement? It's pretty much like a car pack. It's like a car factory. and I'm gonna go to cards with John on this because you agree. Guess what? You got to replace parts when they get worn down, when they get old. You have to always do it. The NCAA, pretty much NCAA football, is a factory of guys coming in to take your job. That's really all it is. It's a business. Eventually, you're going to be phased out for newer models. That's just how that goes. You can't get mad at teams for going in the direction of having younger quarterbacks because they're trying to win. They're not going to keep you around. That's just what it is. Like, why would you say misled? You know what this is. You came into the league as a backup, bro.
Right.
You took somebody's job
Absolutely.
to become a starter. So what the hell do you mean misled?
Yeah.
That's why I'm at with Steve. Like, I don't get it. It's like, you know that you were going to be a bridge. You're not going to be a franchise guy for Atlanta. That's Michael Penix's job.
And Ryan, you put it right on the head. I like how you talked about the comparison when you start talking about the college. It's almost baseball now, especially since they're getting compensated. It's almost like the triple. Look, somebody's coming up from the AAA team at all times. So if you're Kirk Cousins, and I used this earlier analogy, Ryan. Well, not even an analogy, but part of what the NFL players fought for was that guaranteed money.
Yep.
At this point, Kirk Cousins, you kind of lied to us about whether you healthy or not.
Mm-hmm.
You lied about the trainer, which cost us a 5th round pick, and you cost us at least 3 to 4 games when you could have said, Michael Penix, hey, let me let the young cat get in there and let me get healthy and let us keep winning as a team. We were rolling at a team. At that particular time when he got hurt, when Kurt Tober was over with, brother, we were the 2nd seed at that moment. We were the 2nd seed in the NFC. And we went on to finish, what, 2-6? 2 and 6.
Hey, and Ryan. Now, you've only looked at 4 episodes.
Look, I'm catching up or whatever, because I've been busy out here. I finally got all 4 of them. I'm about to be on 5 now, so
Oh yeah. Now, Kirk Cousins is gonna say, in defense of what he did, that he read Drew Brees' book, where Drew Brees said, "Oh, never let the backup see the field."
Right.
Because if the backup see the field, you won't get your job back. Now, he said this on this doggone documentary here. Okay. He said that out of his own mouth, out of his own pie hole. So that tells me that, yes, everybody who was suspecting that he was already hurt and didn't want to give it up because he knew he wasn't going to get back on the field, they were absolutely right. They were absolutely right.
From when I came on the eye test, me, you, Winston said this. I've seen episodes where Uncle Steve said this last year, and we said it in the birdcage. We said hands down, he was more worried about losing his job opposed to trying to do what's best for this team. So that tells you off the rip that this dude don't give a damn about the Falcons. He really don't. So, you talk about being a team player and doing this. Brother, you ain't no team player. You pretty much a team Kirk when it benefits you. You all right, swag surfing in the stadium when everything's going good, but when it's time to put the team on your back like a true leader does and wants to win, you don't want that. Because who's to say, okay, Penix finishes the season, you rest up and you get your job back for that year, and you get a chance to go in the playoffs, and this team is working like a well-oiled machine, and you have a chance to really actually do something with what we had. Because let's be honest, we had weapons last year to at least make a run. Washington's defense was awful. They were awful.
Still off.
It still is awful. They ain't even top 15 defense.
But so all I'm saying is this: if Washington can get to an NFC Championship game in a division like that with the Eagles, we definitely could have made a run in the NFC last year.
Facts.
Yeah, we done beat the Eagles once. We done beat them.
I'll let me piggyback off that. At this moment in the NFC, aside of the Super Bowl champs, tell me the team that you're really afraid of in the NFC.
Nobody.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's only one. It's only one team.
Let's see if you're gonna match it.
No, I'm gonna be real. It's only one team that I really believe they can give us problems.
Ooh.
Detroit.
Sure.
But now that they've lost their But now that they've lost their coaches, now
that's what I was.
How is Detroit going to respond? Because you still got the same players, but you don't have this. You don't have the same coaches. You don't have a DC there. He's in New York coaching the Jets, and then you got Ben Johnson that decided to slide over to the division rival in Chicago.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask all of y'all, not just you, Ryan. And I'm not saying Detroit is going to be like Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
We had the 8th most prolific offense of all time in 2016, with basically the whole team on offense we brought back. Changed OCs and couldn't score 10 to 15 points a game in 2017. Made the playoffs, but we couldn't score. Do you think it's a possibility from Detroit's standpoint that they could kind of fall into that? Now, they lost people on both sides. Even if you have talent, there's a lot about picking up schemes, man. That's real. That's real. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think about that? That's the only reason I didn't bring them up, Ryan, because I do. Yeah, Detroit is still solid. I'm not saying they're not going to be in the playoffs,
They might take a step back and regress.
Right. Exactly.
Well, I ain't even cut the long. I'm gonna go with Green Bay. I'm gonna go with Green Bay because even though they add some depth on they position too, because they looking dangerous. Down the right receiver they got in the first round, I don't know what his name is, but they looking dangerous with Jordan Love. So I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
Green Bay ain't got a legit number one receiver yet.
Yeah, they don't have a legit number one. They drafted the guy.
Yeah.
The receiver corps is
they still ain't got a number one yet.
Yeah, I was kind of gonna question that, but that's all good. What team you looking at, Winston, or is there another other than Philly?
Other than Philly?
Yeah, got to give Philly their props. They're the Super Bowl champs.
I would say Detroit, but I mean both of their coordinators gone, so they're gonna take an adjustment period anyway.
Yeah. What about you, John?
I go dark horse with the Commanders.
They don't have their defense is scary. I think you could score. The mere fact that we kind of, I think if Penix had like 2 or 3 more weeks of getting used to his receivers, had we played Washington, I think with a couple more weeks, I think Penix would have lit they behind up.
That's exactly what I just said. This I got the argument on the show last week. I literally said the exact same thing. I said, if we had pulled Kirk after that 3rd game of his slide and let Penix go ahead and play, by the time Penix had got to Washington, he would have been on fire. You sitting there throwing a rookie quarterback in there, been sitting on the bench all year long,
right?
And now you're in crunch time. You still teetering on playoff contention, and you try to make him figure it out and lead you to playoff contention. That does not make sense. You should have stopped the slide a long time ago. Let him give reps.
Thanks.
Yep. What about you, John? What team in the NFC you see that got your attention? Because I like I said, I think we can play with any of them right now, and so 2 to 7 from a playoff standpoint for me. Seed number 2 to seed number 7. What is there a team other than Philly that you could think of in the NFC?
I'm not even putting Philly up there because, see, Philly had the biggest offensive and defensive lines in football. And even with Kirk Cousins on his second week, we handled him. We shocked him. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying nobody, if you look back at all of the Falcons games we played last year and the losses, we beat ourselves. no one just ran away with us without us contributing to the runaway. We contributed heavily. Now that 4-game losing streak, good man. I mean, 6-3, and then a 4-game losing streak because of
John, I got to give you pushback on that one because let's be honest, you had a brand new offensive coordinator in Philly and Kellen Moore, and then you had Vic Fangio that took over that defense. They only lost 2 games, and think about this: when they finally caught their rhythm, they were the toughest to beat because they had everybody in sync, and they only lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson. That defense that you saw that was killing everybody, John, we was rooting for that same defense that was in Athens, Georgia from 2021 to 2022. So again, we already know they already have continuity on the defensive side of the ball. So when you speak on that Philly offense or whatever, the only thing that I would say might regress is because Kellen Moore now is in New Orleans or whatnot, and we got to deal with it. But to me, I felt like we got them at the right time of the year when we beat them, because when they started rolling, they were damn near impossible to stop. Because Jalen Hurts don't get the credit that he deserves to me, and I'm not even just jocking it like that. But think about it. He carried them to a Super Bowl, helped carry them to a Super Bowl, and they lost. And then he has a defense now that's consistent, and they ended up winning it. They still will be dangerous, but will their offense take a step back? That's going to be the big question. So I'm with you on that, Uncle Steve. I think it's a lot of moving parts in the NFL. So the Falcons have a legit shot because only thing that we changed was our defensive coordinator. And the scheme really ain't changing. So we just going to bring these young players along. I got us going at least 10-7 or 11-6.
Yeah, I'm going at 11-6 at the moment because I do feel like we have upgraded our talent. Our talent level, to me, is much different than what we were hoping. Think about what we were doing the last couple of years, fellas. We were sitting there talking about how great Nate Landman was, how much of a difference Troy Anderson is going to make. And I'm not saying those guys are B team players at best. So now we have some truly upgraded, talented guys coming on to this team with a linebacker at our DC. So he's going to have an attack. Don't sleep on what the Jets were doing on defense prior to Salah leaving with the Jets. Ulbrich had them boys playing. So
defense 2 years in a row.
Absolutely. And he didn't want a head coach. Ulbrich didn't want to be a head coach of that. Ulbrich took job. He was kind of like Raheem was when Dan Quinn got fired. He just had to sit in there for a minute. I'm gonna go
mess his resume up.
yeah, exactly. Before we get ready to wrap up, I'm gonna ask one question to y'all, and it's something to think about now that we're almost about a month out from the first. Y'all realize the Hall of Fame game is July 31st. We are not far, fellas. We are not far. Let me ask you this. And I know we run into this in the past with our illustrious quarterbacks, Desmond Ridder and Marcus Mariota. with now that we have 3 preseason games and we saw the sample size of Michael Penix, if you're Raheem Morris, do you let Michael Penix play in 1, 2, or no games in preseason? I'm gonna start with John and then work our way around to Ryan.
If it's good enough for Tom Brady, it's good enough for Michael Penix.
Okay.
I need one series each game.
One series each game. Okay.
One series each game.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
At least.
Okay. So even in the second game, you wouldn't let him stay out there at least a quarter?
No.
Maybe the second game? Because the third game is going to be for the guys trying to make the roster.
No. I would just say one series per game. because he really, and I don't want to take up too much time, but who you gonna put in there after Michael Penix comes out? Will it be Kirk Cousins?
Hey, I was gonna get
Easton.
to.
I put Easton Stick.
It's gonna be the Easton Stick show. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying now.
I'm telling you right now. Yeah, Easton Stick will be getting.
And when you put Kirk Cousins in, make sure it's an away game.
Oh yeah. He'll be a third string. He'll be the third quarterback.
What you think, Winston? 1 game, 2 games, or no games for Michael Penix?
I let him play the first two. First two, a drive apiece. Pretty much along the line with John. Third game, go ahead, rest up, zone in, lock in. Let let Kirk let Kirk get like a quarter and Easton Stick, play the rest of the game. But I'm like, I just want him to be sharp because our beginning schedule, if we can go ahead and jump out, because I think we play Tampa first and then Carolina. I think those are our first 2 games.
Is Carolina second? Yeah. We go on the road.
Yeah, week 3.
Carolina.
We play on week 3.
Yeah.
We got to beat them. I know it ain't gonna be no easy one.
So we play Carolina week 2 or week 3?
No, week 3. After the Minnesota game.
Who's week 2?
Minnesota.
I think it's Tampa.
Away.
Oh, Minnesota. That's right. Sunday night game.
So is Minnesota week 2?
Yeah, week 2 Minnesota on Sunday night football game. And we got
he's right.
Carolina.
Yeah.
At 1 o'clock. Right.
So if we can go ahead and jump out, 2-1, 3-0, that bodes very, very well for the rest of our season.
And keep in mind, Winston, all those games are conference games, exactly. which is big time. William, who you think? How you would think you do it with Penix? 1 game, 2 games, or no games?
I say 1 game. At least get that chemistry, get a little warm up, get his little, arm, see what he worked on this all season. Because we ain't seen a lot of throws he did. Well, we seen that in the highlights, but I just want at least 1 series and 1 preseason game. That's it for me. Just one quarter, 2 minutes.
Before I let the historian go, one of the reasons why I was gonna say 1 game instead is because y'all remember they put a lot more emphasis on these scrimmages now. And I know when they have these scrimmages against the other teams, sometimes when they have those situations where they can kind of script what's going on with each team, I think that has become a tool now that they've dropped down to 3 preseason games. That's one of the reasons why I was going with 1. What do you think, Ryan? If you're head coach, what are you going to do with Penix? 1 game, 2 games, or you going to sit him out preseason?
I'm only going to have him play 1, like you said, Steve, because at the end of the day, I'm looking at it like this. Yeah, the game has changed, and at this point, he's going to be your starter. You already know this is his job. Get him a series in, let him get out, and I got to quote Mr. John Harris on here, the cricket deacon, as I always do. Listen, man, you got to go ahead and let this quarterback that's got a foot for a hand throw this ball down the field, because our backup quarterback is just horrible. You got to understand. Listen, if Tom Brady can do this here, he's got to do it here. And if he don't get it right, I'm going to hit him with a 2x4. We need our backup just in case Penix might go down. John, was that close enough?
I ain't mad that he had John sounding like Buck Owens from Hee Haw. I don't know what. I was like...
No, man. The only thing I missed was the bull whipping the 38. John always say the 2x4.
That was pretty close, though. That was pretty close.
It's the truth. John tell the truth about it. That's why I be emulating. It's funny, but it's true.
You practice how you play. You remember those jokes used to always get at me because stuff would go on in practice. And I'd harp on it, and it's just practice, John. It's just practice. and you remember the 49ers? They had the number 1 offense and had the number 1 defense back in the 80s. So they were practicing against the best defense and against the best offense in the league. So everybody else was Rudy Poo. Everybody else rooted for.
Absolutely.
But the collective bargaining got involved in that, and that stopped a lot of these guys from practicing. And then think about it.
Yeah.
The only way that you can prevent injuries, ladies and gentlemen, is you got to play football. You got to build up a callus.
That's true.
And the reason why we see so many injuries, people don't realize that you falling. You got to get used to falling. You got to get used to being pulled down. And these owners are so worried about the product. Like you said, John, go back in the days where you saw guys play all 4 games in the preseason and then play in the regular season. You rarely saw injuries. Am I lying, Steve?
Not at all. And and you made a good point because, dude, that was just playing football. That was before the days of weights, but before the days of like, what am I talking about? Directed practices where you had leg days, where you had arm day, where you just let the guys go out there and play football. And you didn't hear about ACLs and MCL. I'm not saying they didn't happen, but you didn't hear them on the small. Exactly. You got a smaller sample of what happened back then.
I remember them 2-a-days on that doggone hill up there.
Did you ever go to Swanee? Did you used to go to Swanee up there, John?
I went.
Yes,
I went
sir.
when I was a kid, John.
Oh, where'd you go?
One time. Around 92, 90, I was 92, 93 when I went. When I was a kid, eating a bag of potato chips and having a Coca-Cola, sitting on the hill, burning my butt up, watching.
I went to South Carolina.
You Duke with the S curl fade on his head back in the day. Prime was there, Bobby Butler. Like, shoot.
Yeah,
when they moved to Furman for a year or 2,
couple of years. Yeah.
I think they were building Flowery Branch.
Yep.
When they went up there, man, I was all up there. You know, I had rented a room up there. I was up there a whole week with them. You know, I was up there a whole week.
And Jerry Glanville didn't throw you out of one practice.
Man, shoot, both of us were cussing. Me, him, Jim Hannafin. Man, shoot, Jim Hannafin wasn't talking unless he was cussing. Man,
Jim Hannafin been like that since he was coaching the Cardinals back in the day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, look. Hey, man, I'm telling you.
We went up. Dad took us. You know, my dad used to have all them season tickets at Fulton County. He took us up to. I met Bubba Bean. I met June Jones. I met a very young Joel Williams. And that was before William Andrews came. I didn't get a chance to see him until, but that was, I want to say that was the 70 going into the 77 season. I think it was going into the 77 season. The year that they broke the record.
Going to the record setting season.
That when they didn't allow that many points. That was when last time I went up there to Swanee. But that was a pretty good thing. Brian, what you got? We got a couple of them coming up your way this year, man. What games you trying to go to up there? I know we got one Jets, one New England.
I'm gonna probably end up hitting the Jets game this year. I've already talked about that. That's gonna be one I'm gonna try to hit up. I know they got one in Washington this year. No. Washington comes. Washington comes.
No, Washington come here. Washington come here. I'm sorry.
I know they got one. I know they got one up in Jersey with the Jets. I'm actually gonna try to go to that one. I got to see what the rest of the schedule looking like around the Northeast because I'm definitely gonna try to hit that one though.
I'm definitely hitting up New England. Heading up there with Berto and the fellas.
Have to endure that game. I was stationed up. That was my first duty station in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. 30 minutes away from them. Okay. So I'm familiar with that area. That's why I'm shaking my head. Like when I left New England, I said I left it behind. It was like the good old South up north. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I got you. Oh, trust me, I got you. Yeah. But thank you, Greg. We appreciate you, man. So listen, fellas, y'all. I appreciate the panel and everything. Anthony. I don't know why is it Anthony? William, Amy. Yeah. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for joining us here, and thank you for joining the panel. Ryan, man, dude, I saw the other day, brother. You right on the brink of that 1K, man. You've been doing your thing over there at Burger LCC, man. Tell the folks again for those who just jumped in. Let them know what y'all do on the regular. and tell them about the guests you got again coming on Thursday.
So normally we're on Thursday, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Rain, sleet, snow. You know how we get down. Also, we have a guest this week. We're going to probably do a pop-up show tomorrow, but we have a guest this week, Miss Connie Carberg, first female NFL scout in history, will be joining the Birdcage LLC Thursday night. Definitely, y'all don't want to miss that. Y'all got to tap in. And as we always say, man, look, you either get right or you get left. So go ahead and get right. Hit that like button if you have not hit it for Uncle Steve or whatnot.
Thank y'all.
Hit the subscribe for the man because it's free 99. You like everything for free? Guess what? You getting in the tank for free and you ain't got to pay for it. So thanks for having me on, Uncle Steve. John,
right.
Winston, John, you know I'm gonna catch y'all on the eye test tomorrow night.
They be up too late for me, Ryan. They don't go. I'll be going to bed, but I'm gonna still. They'll at least, y'all at least help me go to sleep.
I can only give them about 30 minutes, Steve, and then I'm out.
Ryan, you take care, my friend. Thank you for jumping in, my friend. Appreciate you, Winston and John. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for joining me. Y'all tell the folks what y'all doing tomorrow night and every Wednesday night up on YouTube.
Go ahead, John boy. John.
Hey, eye test tomorrow night, 10 o'clock. Best late night time you ever gonna have unless you're getting in trouble. And then again, you might get in trouble listening to us.
You never know.
And you just never know. You know, we cover topics like syrup on maple, syrup on pancakes. I'll just tell you like that. Maple syrup on pancakes. I couldn't even get it right.
What was he trying to
cover it up?
Syrup on, Winston?
Leave that alone.
Hey,
leave that alone. You know what kind of show you got, Steve. Leave that alone now.
We'll have to discuss this topic tomorrow night.
Yeah. Hey, that might be something we talk about tomorrow night.
This show is PG-13. NC-17.
and one thing I definitely want to talk about tomorrow night, and I want everybody that's listening here, if you want to tune in, the Falcons are 60 years old this year.
That's right.
So the highs, the lows, the pet peeves, the attaboys, all of that. You know, we're going to cover some of that tomorrow night so that we can, put number 60 to bed and try to make number 61 the best one.
There you go. And
me and my partner Winston, it's just like young blood. You can bet your last money it's gonna be a stone gas, honey.
I'm so disappointed because I know we were supposed to hook up with Winston and get this game thing going. Winston, I gotta catch you for a game, bro. We gotta do that. I don't know when we're gonna do it, but we gotta do that game thing. I'm sick and tired of John Harris being the only person that I see at these games or come to the crib over here to sit over here. He got a chance to go in the real lounge. What were we watching? Basketball a few weeks. What was that? We watching basketball.
That was oh goodness. Oh,
was that the playoffs? That was playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Playoffs. So Winston, we gotta get you in on here, man, so we can check you out. But brother, much love to you, man. You and John keep doing y'all thing. I appreciate both of y'all, man. Thank y'all for joining me tonight, fellas. And I'm gonna be tuning in tomorrow.
All right.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. All right. So it's down to me. I appreciate everybody joining us here on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Appreciate you. Please make sure y'all hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Great talk today about Kirk Cousins and his misled theory about the Atlanta Falcons. Again, hopefully join y'all either this weekend or next Monday. Until then, everybody have a great night. Thank you for joining us. Be blessed.
You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge.